What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I'm going to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down how the charts are looking thus far and some very important levels to be watching for, and why the market is starting to give some signals of a possible turn. But before I turn more bearish, I need to see some confirmation of this going into Monday. So I'm going to break down some levels to watch for, what to look out for on Monday, and some very, very interesting things going on the charts. But before I break anything down all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit any amount of money to the account, you are guaranteed up to 6 free stocks. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks plus 6 months of level 2 data. Putting in $25,000 or more guarantees you 70 free stocks plus 12 months of level 2 data. The offer ends in just about 3 days from now, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the market. Looking at SPY, we had another very, very interesting day, flat for the most part, but we started to see SPY continuing to drop. Now, we have this gap right over here that's above, so the question is, will we kind of like come up to fill this gap and then come down, or will the market just downtrend from here? Now, I just want to note that we're starting to show some weakness on some of the larger time frames, such as the 4-hour time frame. We need to see this thing lose our 20 EMA to turn a lot more bearish. We haven't really done that just yet. So the bears are gaining some more control. They got SPY to close below 470, for example. We closed below 470, so the bears have more strength than before, but they're not officially winning until we start to see a continuation to the downside, especially on Monday, until we start to lose this support right over here. So we'll be watching for that, especially going into Monday and also on Tesla and other things like that. As a reminder that for Monday, we have the NAHB housing price index. That's going to be very, very important. We'll be watching to see what this looks like as time goes on. And on top of that, we also have quite a few options, very few options on December 18th. Max pain happens to be adjusted now at like 470. So they've changed the max pains at the 470 area. But notice how that for like Friday, for example, we're going to have max pain around like this 468 area. So we'll be watching to see how this affects the charts. Besides that, there's not really much else going on. One thing worth noting on SPY is that if you look at it, this thing is starting to downtrend, but one could argue that we're trying to form a flag right here. And if I go back to Webull, I just want to show you guys this. When you look at the 30 minutes time frame, you'll notice that we have these imbalances down here. We have these imbalances down towards 467.5, so like right here. Also at 465, we have the 200 EMA. There's a very good chance, in my opinion, and as time goes on, this 200 EMA is going to continue to uptrend slowly. It's going to get very close to this 467 area, and we might be testing that very soon. The chart is looking a bit more bearish on the 4-hour time frame. It's starting to downtrend a bit. There's a good chance it might actually drop a little bit more, but we'll see if support holds, if we end up holding our key levels. So we'll be watching that very, very carefully. For now, it is looking like it's favoring the bears a little bit more, but just to be safe, we'll see how it closes. So I just want to call out that our key level is going to be this 470 area. I had the two possibilities drawn out. I said if you want to be bullish, we need to see this thing break 470, start breaking out. If you want to be bearish, you want to see a downtrend in this channel and basically, make the move that we're seeing right here. And the more like bearish case sort of played out, but it's not super bearish since we technically managed to close above 469, but we did close below 470, which like puts it in the middle. So what I'm going to be watching for, especially going into Monday, is can SPY try to close back above 470 on Monday? If we could achieve that, this could still turn back up, guys. I would not turn too bearish just yet, but if we keep downtrending, especially on Monday, with all the housing data coming out and such, if we keep doing this, okay, if we fail to close above that 470 area, we're going to be downtrending towards 467. That's going to be my target. I think that's going to come very, very shortly if we just continue to downtrend like this. So I'm going to be watching this very carefully. Right now, okay, is the chart super bearish? No, it's not super bearish, but it's trying to look like it's turning right now. It's trying to get some signals suggesting that a turn is coming, and 467 could be a very, very good target. So we could even break below that just for a temporary little cool off since the market pumps so hard with next to no downside. So we'll be watching all of this very, very carefully. But just because we drop a bit, that does not mean I'm a perma bear, guys. We could see the market, right, come down like this and then just eventually bounce back up. Okay, don't turn way too bearish. Don't be too excited about this little pullback. Don't become way too bearish when you see it. We could cool off a bit more, but make sure you're very careful. Now, I just want to mention that some stocks, such as Tesla, are looking very strong. Tesla did almost exactly what I was predicting, at least from like right here. It's just that it didn't break out like all the way. And I was just talking about like the super bullish case in that scenario. So to be bearish on Tesla, we needed to see Tesla break below 247 and break down. This was the red trend line, the red scenario I had drawn out over there. And then the green one was this like bounce from right over here. What happened? Tesla came down. It actually hit the exact level I was talking about, testing this yellow trend line. I never touched these charts, guys. I just left them as is. Okay. We had this yellow trend line acting as our support. Tesla bounced off of it. Tesla held it nicely. It did not break below 247 to turn bearish. It actually bounced off support as they grabbed more liquidity, right? They're grabbing liquidity right here from these previous wicks, and they launched it right back up. So could Tesla keep going? Is Tesla going to keep pushing for 260? It's a possibility, but I just want to warn you all that if the market does cool off a bit, it could slow Tesla down. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla sort of just like, if Tesla holds up, it depends on the news and stuff too. Tesla kind of does this and this and just continues to form like a bullish wedge. Then we get a breakout a little bit later on. This could be something else that happens, just for instance. But I just want to note that Tesla is strong. Tesla is stronger than SPY. Tesla is starting to outperform the markets. And the news involving the Optimus robot, the new gen for it, the new news involving the Mexico Gigafactory, the other factors out there, other pieces of news, and also don't forget about the Fed cuts have helped this thing launch up. The investors love the idea of the Fed cutting, which is going to eventually, at least like moving forward, as the market's very forward looking, it's going to help reduce costs for Tesla, right? So Tesla's looking bullish. It has a nice accumulation that formed and starting to break out. Let's just zoom out of this one more time, just so I can show you this accumulation. When it dropped here right before the FOMC meeting, they dropped it because they were buying down here. Then they launched it right back up right after. Now we're trying to test these highs. We're trying to break this resistance very close to this 252 range. We're fighting. We're forming a bullish wedge, so I think it looks bullish so far. I will turn bearish on Tesla if we lose the yellow trend line and then we lose like 247. Then yes, I will admit Tesla can drop, but we haven't lost 247 yet. We're still holding up nicely. We look like we're forming a bullish wedge. I could see Tesla breaking out more. It looks strong. I would be very careful of trying to short this thing. Not financial advice, by the way, guys. Last but not least, I'm just going to talk about the QQQ, then a few more tickers on Webull. I'll be breaking down more charts tomorrow, so I want to keep this simple. I know I kind of like drew this really weird, but I just want to show you guys something for reference. So I'm showing you guys the hourly time frame on the QQQ. What do you notice? It's very simple. There's a yellow line here. See this yellow line? We're ping-ponging off of this. We touched it, bounced, touched it, bounced, 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 right? It's holding the yellow trend line. And I assumed that this is going to likely happen today. Now, I told you if you want to be bearish going into today, you needed to see this thing lose the yellow trend line and start coming back down towards 402, then 400. It didn't happen. And I told you the green trend line is more probable. I knew I kind of like drew this weird, but you could see it's still holding nicely. So my view is still the same thing, guys. We're going to likely just try to continue to do this, slowly uptrend back up like this. It's going to attempt to do that, right? And that's what the trend is showing so far. But if there's bad news on Monday, because SPY is looking weaker than the QQQ, if something happens, especially with like Apple and Nvidia at some key levels, if we end up losing this yellow trend line like this, then we could see the QQQ start turning back down toward like 402. That would be one target worth watching for, where this wick was. We also have this level right here. Then we could start turning once we get this break. Okay, so it's very easy. It's very easy to play this. You just got to watch for that break and a confirmation of the break. You need to see it lose some key support and start to turn. And that's going to be it. Have we turned yet? No. QQQ has not turned yet. So don't assume it's going to turn for no reason. It's very simple, guys. This TA is so simple. We are looking a little bit weaker on the 4-hour, but we're not officially breaking down yet as we ended up breaking our high from yesterday. So it still has some strength. We will see if this leads to some kind of like retracement towards 402. I'll be watching to see if 402 comes. If we lose 402, I would turn more bearish. So far, there's no sign of that. I'm going to keep this video short since it's Friday. I will be talking about NVIDIA and a couple of others in my later video. But for now, I just want to talk about a couple of things. Just a view more. SoFi is looking a bit more bearish. Going to be watching that 8.92 support and 8.39. I could see it dropping a bit more. I also wanted to call out that if you look at the IWM, okay, Russell 2000, we have this big gap down here at 193. We're turning bearish on the PPO. This chart is looking like it's losing strength from a technical standpoint. I could see 194 and then 193 possibly. So I see a little retracement coming for it, especially since we hit that key resistance at 200 before we saw that rejection. So it's worth noting. I'm just going to go over a couple of others, guys. Since it's Friday, I'm just going to do this for fun. Microsoft looks kind of decent, trying to push back up. Watch the 50 EMA, 371.6 on the 4-hour time frame. If we break this, it could be on its way back up to 375, which is going to help tech for the time being. But if we reject off of this, the PPO could be a trap on the PPO. I'm going to be anticipating a big drop back down towards 365, and if that fails us, then 362.47 is next. So watch and see, do we reject off the 50 EMA or are we about to bounce? I would be very careful with Microsoft. It is trying to turn right now. It is looking like it has some strength, but just to be safe, we need to see a confirmation of the break to turn bullish. Hasn't done that yet. The VIX, there's nothing confirmed yet. This thing is still below the 4-hour 20 EMA. It hasn't even gone back above 13 yet. Nothing is changing yet for it. Same thing with the SQQQ, but the dollar is looking bullish. The dollar has been the dollar has been dropping and dropping and dropping. And finally, it's looking like it's trying to bounce. We'll be watching to see how these numbers end up affecting it. It looks bullish on the daily, so we could see the dollar actually try to make its way back up. It was looking bearish yesterday, but now it's starting to turn, which is a little bit surprising, but it's completely fine since it dropped so hard. So if it makes its way up higher, this could cool the market off a bit. We'll be watching for that as time goes on. Lo and behold, I told you all that as long as Alibaba does not break below 70, 75 is coming. What just happened today? 75.55. We're going to be watching this resistance at the 20 EMA on the daily time frame. We could actually get a rejection here, so watch for this gap below towards 72.4. But that, once again, was a really, really good trade that I called out. A good take profit level ended up coming. For Google, kind of flat, not really a whole lot's going on. And with that being said, guys, I'll just stop the video from here. I'll be talking more about the rest of the tickers tomorrow and just some other things, some plays I have in mind. I'm going to give you guys some very, very good opportunities, at least for 2024. What I say is going to be non-financial advice, but I have some nice plays for you I'm going to show you tomorrow. And with that being said, thank you all so much for listening. Have an absolutely spectacular rest of the day. Remain calm, cool, and collected, and I'll see you guys very soon tomorrow. Take care, guys. Enjoy the weekend, and peace out.